Good afternoon, नमस्कार सम्पूर्ण विद्यार्थी भाइ बहिनीहरुमा म विष्णु कार्की Babson Distance Education Social Studies teacher for grade 8 and 9. Now we are going to talk about the federalism, grade 8. About federalism we have already talked about in the last two classes, and now we are going to talk about our provinces. Very short introduction about the provinces. Before that, what we have left last time is we have talked about federalism. We have talked about importance of federalism. We have talked about the advantages of federalism, and we left the problems or challenges of federalism. What are the problems and what are the challenges of federalism? The things we have left last time because of the time. Today, first, we are going to talk about the challenges or problems of federalism. Mostly, we can say challenges of federalism. What are the challenges of federalism? We have talked about federalism is a dual government system. This has lots of advantages also are there. Federalism is important for our nation or national development. Isn't those things we have talked about? Why federalism is advantageous? Why we need federalism? Why we adopt federalism? Those things we have talked about in last time. Though there are there are advantages of federalism, though federalism is most important for us, which is required for us, it does not mean that there is no any challenges, there is no any disadvantages of federalism. There are, no doubt. Like very first point is here in this slide, unequal distribution of means and resources between the state may lead misunderstanding among the states. That is first challenge, we need to manage it. Unequal distribution means and resources are there, maybe natural, human, or resources of development. In the very first lesson we have talked about, there are three resources of development. That is, first is natural, financial, or human resources. The unequal distribution of means and resources between the state means one state and another state. Like our federalism, present division of the province, there is quite unequal distribution of means and resources. See there, see the means and resources in province 2, see the means and resources in province number 1 or 5 or other. It is unequally distributed. That can creates misunderstanding among the states. And some states may have more resources of the development or means and resources, more access to the means and resources, and rapid development may be there and other not. Like see the one example, the budget of Kathmandu metropolitan city and the budget of Karnali whole province. Isn't one metropolitan city's budget is bigger than whole province. Such a situation is there, means this is one example of unequal distribution of means and resources. This kind of unequal distribution may affect the proportionate development of all the provinces or all the geographies of the nation. That is one challenge. How to equally distribute means and resources. This is very first challenge. Second is, there may be the misunderstanding between federal government and provincial government regarding the sharing of power and authorities. It means, but in power sharing there may be the misunderstanding, which we have encountered many times in our country. Like province number 2 passed the provincial police or security law before federal government prepared the federal security strategy. Means many laws are being contradictory and there is a conflict between federal and provincial. Such a situation was created. Still, the power sharing is not clear. Still, there are lots of problems in power sharing between federal and provincial government. Many times, chief minister are telling federal government is not allocating the power for us. Though power is distributed by the constitution, how much the first thing what we need to evaluate means how much they are able to use the power which is already handed over to. That is one part of evaluation. But there is the contradictions or misunderstanding is there. That is another challenge of federalism. How to balance or make the harmonious relation between provincial and federal government. How to share the power, that is another challenge. And there may be conflict between the state regarding the use of natural resources. One best example, like Kaligandaki Tinau diversion or one project, multi-purpose project is there. And Gandaki province is not willing to divert the Kaligandaki rivers to Tinau and irrigation. That multi-purpose project is in conflict. Means this kind of natural resources, Kaligandaki river is there in province number 4, Gandaki province, and trying to divert it to that another province, province number 5, Tinau means this kind of conflict may be there regarding the use of the natural resources. How to balance it? How to manage it? That is another challenge of the federalism. Another, federal system of government is more expensive, hence there may be lack of sufficient capital. It is expensive system. It is obvious fact at present we can see how expensive the federal system is, isn't it? How much that tax is being collected, more than the tax collected from the nation or from different institutions, or that different topics like tax, like VAT and other custom tax, that all. More budget is required to provide salary. We are trying to develop our nation, we are developing nation, and we don't have more capital. And even to give salary for the government officials, we need to take loan, or we need to ask for the donation. This kind of situation is there in the nation. How to develop? When our whole tax, which is being collected from different sources, and more budget we required to provide salary, and how can we conduct other development works? With the loan, with the donation, isn't it? With the loan and donation, we are trying to develop our nation. Means whatever tax we are paying, that tax is not being invested for the development at all. That goes for the expenses of the salary. Such kind of challenges there. Means how to manage the capital, that is another challenge. And how to manage the sufficient capital for the development, that is another challenge, which we are facing at present. This is another challenge of the federalism. Another challenge is the provinces may demand for a different and a separate state which can threaten the national security and integrity. If the conflict, if the misunderstanding between federal and provincial government is not managed in time, that may threat, or that create a kind of threat in national security and integrity. That is another problem, isn't it? The challenge of the national division. A nation can be divided. Such kind of challenges are there. Means we need to manage. It does not mean that in federalism nation will be divided. No, that's not. But if we are not able to manage the misunderstanding in time, that may create a kind of threat. Such a challenge is there, which we are facing, like the misunderstanding we are facing. We need to manage, we need to balance it in time. We need to resolve it in time. That is must. Another, the cultural and ethnic diversity can causes a challenge regarding the state, language, and maintaining equal recognition to all cultural groups. Means like advantage of federalism, what we talk about is federalism helps to address the diversity. No doubt, federalism helps to address the diversity. But how much? Our nation, or a small nation, small territory, geography, and lots of diversity, language, culture, ethnicity, or there are other diversity, religious, and lots of diversities are there. And can we able to manage this all the diversity in the federalism or not? It is very challenging. It is very challenging, and it may create a problem or conflict in the society. Like a simple example in province number 2, regarding the language. Regarding the language, which language will be the official language? One is Nepali, and another province can declare another language as an official language for that province. Which language? Mithila, Bhojpuri, Hindi, or which one? There is conflict. Such kind of conflict are there. Means even a diversity, we have a more diversity because of that, diversity may not be addressed, or all the diversity may not be addressed in time. That is another challenge of the federalism. These are some challenges of federalism. There are others too, but these are the major challenges of the federalism in our nation. These things we left last time, so I'm adding here. And mainly today we are going to talk about the introduction, or a short introduction about the provinces, different provinces. How is the geography? How is the territory? How is the development, resources, and all? Today we are going to talk about. Very first, province number 1. Very challenging to address the diversity I have talked about in federalism. Challenges of federalism. This is one example. Almost 3 years have been passed, and even province is not able to give the name itself. So we are talking about province number 1. Some province number 1, 2, 5, 3 provinces still are not able to give the name. What is the problem there? Means how to address the diversity, how to address the people's demand there. That is very challenging. So still name is not here. This is one challenge of federalism itself. Province number 1, especially the eastern part of the country. If you talk about development regions, mostly eastern development region of the past, except Sira and Saptari. Sira, Saptari also were there in eastern development region, but at present, Sira and Saptari are there in province number 2, and all other districts are there in province number 1. Like province number 1, see there are some districts like Taplejung, Pasthar, Ilam, Sangkhwasabha, Terathum, Dhankuta, Bhojpur, Khotang, Solukhumbu, Okhaldunga, Udaipur, Jhapa, Morong, and Sunsari. These 14 districts are there in province number 1. Very first. And province number 1 covers the 3 geography of our nation. Means 3 different kinds of geography, 3 geographical regions of our nation: a mountain, hill, and Tarai 3. Tarai, Jhapa, Morang, Sunsari, and other mountainous region also are there, districts are there, and hilly region also are there. This is first. And there are some mountains and hills like ranges, Himalayas, Mahabharat, Chure, Janak, Umbak, Chamlang, Mahalangur. These are some ranges. Himalaya, the Mahabharat range is there, Chure range is there. This Mahabharat and Himalaya, Mahabharat, and Chure range are there from eastern to the western part of the country, isn't it? These are. And there are some peaks like the world tallest peak, Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, Lhotse, Makalu, Choyu, Amadablam, Nuptse. Like these are some peaks which are there in province number 1. Mountain peaks or Chure range or Mahabharat range. These are some things there. And other rivers like Saptakoshi river is there, and its tributaries. Saptakoshi river, when it comes there in the Tarai, it is in between province number 2 and province number 1. Otherwise, most of the rivers are there, like Arun, Tamur, Dudkoshi, like Likhu or Barun, Tamakoshi, Sunkoshi, Indravati. These are some rivers. And other rivers are like Kankai, Mechi, Ratua, Khola, Mai Khola. These are other rivers which are there in province number 1. It shows that there is the high possibility of hydroelectricity. There is the high possibility of irrigation and other facilities which can be provided with these rivers, these sources. And another like protected area or national parks in terms of this, like Sagarmatha National Park is there, Makalu Barun National Park is there, Makalu Barun Conservation Area is there, Kanchenjunga Conservation Area, Koshitapu Wildlife Reserve. These are there in province number 1. And like major cities are there, like Biratnagar, the oldest city of the Nepal, one of the oldest city of the Nepal, isn't it? Our oldest industrial area of the country. Like the first jute mill also was established there, though at present that is not there, isn't it? Even land is misused by some persons who appointed there, isn't it? Dharan is there, Damak, Itari, Bhadrapur, Inarwa, isn't it? These are like other Dhankuta, Birtamur. These are the major cities of the province number 1. It means through these cities, or that Japamorang, most of the cities are there in Japamorang, Sunsari, like Ilam Bazar also are there, and other capital cities are a bit bigger cities which are there. And in terms of tourism too, like Everest area is there, Kanchenjunga is there, Namche is there, Ilam, very popular place, tourist place of the country is there, Bara Kshetra, a religious place, like and Viratnagar itself, the oldest industrial city of the country, Pathivara, Halesi Mahadev. These are the some pilgrimage or tourism, very popular areas for the tourism, mainly Everest area or Mount Everest, those areas, isn't it? Halesi also, Halesi Mahadev also is known as the Pashupatinath of the Eastern Nepal. पूर्वको पशुपतिनाथ भनेर चिनिन्छ, त्यो पनि त्यही छ भनेपछि there is the possibility of tourism development too in this province number 1, because this Pathivara, a very well known place, isn't it? त्यसै Bara Kshetra, Ilam, well known place for the tourism. Means in this way, if you say about province number 1, there is the high possibility of the tourism development too. If you talk about the infrastructure like roadway, mostly in infrastructure we mostly talk about the roadways or highway. East-west highway eastern section is there, across the Saptakoshi river, and middle highway also is there. Toss there, east sector is there. Dharan Dhankuta highway, or this is also known as Madan Bhandari highway too. Another Mechi highway also is there. Sagarmatha highway is there. Siddhicharan highway also is there. Means these are the some highways there, and there are other like Sagarmatha or the other highways are there, isn't it? And in this way, in terms of infrastructure too, province number 1 is a bit improved in comparison to other like Sudur Paschim or Karnali provinces, isn't it? And industrial zone, in terms of industry, I already talked about the Nepal's oldest industrial zone, Viratnagar is there, Damak, Dharan, Bhadrapur, Inarwa, there are some other, mainly Viratnagar is the most important one. And this is the industrial zone there. And in terms of earning activities, like farming is the first or most important earning activities of the province number 1. And in terms of farming, like tea, the popular place, Ilam, Jhapa Ilam is there, and jute production, Morang there, cardamom, Nepal export a larger amount of cardamom from the eastern or province number 1, mostly in province number 1, not in other, isn't it? And other rice maize, others are there. Most important production there is like tea and cardamom. In terms of farming, tea farming and cardamom farming or alaichi kheti, these are the most important there. And animal husbandry also is there, no doubt, because our country is the agricultural country. In agriculture, what we need means that mall or other things we need, so we go for the animal husbandry. Tourism, I already told you, in tourism center, isn't it? That is there. Trade and business also is there, industrial zone and others are there, isn't it? Service or mining, fishing, or for foreign employment mainly. Foreign employment is the this earning activities of each and every province of our country, no doubt. Don't forget it. If I have left to tell about the foreign employment is one of the earning activities of the country, don't forget of any province, and don't forget that is everywhere there in the country. Like in each and every province there, foreign employment is the major source of Nepalese people's income. That is the one fact. Another caste of people, mainly this is the eastern region, is known as the Kirat zone too, Rai and Limbu. These are the major caste, native caste in the hilly region, hilly and mountain region, isn't it? Like Mas Kirat also it is called, isn't it? And Rai and Limbu are there, mostly, and then other caste also are there. It does not mean that Rai and Limbu only are there, but that is the very native land for the Rai and Limbu people. And don't forget it. And another like Lepcha, Rajbangshi, Koche, Meche, Tharu, Dhimal, these are there, along with Brahmin and Kshetri. Brahmin and Kshetri are everywhere there in the country, east, west, very less in mountain region, in other hilly and Tarai region, everywhere there are, isn't it? These are the major caste. If question is being asked for 1 mark, sometimes it was being asked like who are the native people in the province number 1, don't forget Rai and Limbu. And Kirat, the origin place of Kirat religion too. These are the some facts regarding the caste. Another in terms of pilgrimage sites, means Bara Kshetra, Halesi Mahadev, Pathivara, Chintang Devi, Buddha Subba, Dantakali. These are the some pilgrimage sites or religious places of the province number 1. Now, these are the some facts about the province number 1. At a glance, province number 1 is this. What we need to know is, like province number 1, there is the high possibility of hydroelectricity, there is the possibility of agriculture, there is the possibility of tourism. If we focus upon these 3 areas for the development or earning activities of the nation, for the economic development of this province, province number one, we can develop province number one a bit faster, or that will be more beneficial in comparison to other sector. We need to remember these things. These are the some facts at a glance of this province number one. Another province number two. Second is province number two now. Yeah, when we talk about the province number two, it is the 8 districts of Tarai. Only 8 districts in Tarai. Sira, Saptari, Dhanusha, Mahottari, Sarlai, Rohtad, Bara and Parsa. This is province number 2. There are no any mountain, hill and other places. Just province number 2 means only there are 8 districts of Tarai region. So there is no mountain, hill and these other things are not there. That is one. Another means like in terms of pilgrimage sites, don't forget Janakpur Dham and Gadimai. And Janakpur Dham, very popular, the oldest one religious place of the country, one of the oldest. And another like Gadimai, it is more popular in terms of the that contradictions which arises every 5 years because of that animal sacrificing there, isn't it? Gadimai also is there. These are the two major pilgrimage sites of province number 2. Another rivers means Bagmati one is there, Kamala, Triyuga. These are some. Bagmati flows from this Bagmati province to the province number 2, up to 2, and Kamala, Triyuga. These are the some. Triyuga also is from Udaipur side. It comes to the Sira Saptari, isn't it? And these are the major rivers. It means in province number 2, what we remember is possibility of hydroelectricity is not there. It is not there, not possible in the Tarai region. And in terms of lake too, like Ganga Sagar, Dhanusha Sagar, these are the some lakes not popular that much. And protected area means Parsa National Park is there in the province number 2. That is one protected area. Major city means Janakpur, Lahan, Gaur, Birganj, Kalaiya, Rajviraj, Nijgarh, Simara, Bara Simara. These are the major cities there. And tourism centers means that one Parsa National Park and Mithila area भनेको Mithila area means that Janakpur area. That is the major area for the tourism. Means when we see this itself, tourism also is not that much possible in this province number 2, because only Janaki temple is popular place, not others, isn't it? In terms of roadways too, all districts of this province connects by the east-west highway, almost all, and except Parsa district. Parsa is not there, not connected with that, and means east-west highway only is there, and postal highway also is there. That is one. Another railway, only one railway, Janakpur Jayanagar railway is there in this province number 2. In Nepal, only one railway is there from Janakpur to Jayanagar. And industrial zone means Birganj, Nijgarh, these are Nijgarh and Birganj. These are the major industrial zone, and along with that, Janakpur, Rajviraj, isn't it? There are. And earning activities, most important earning activities of this province is industrially too. It's not well developed. And in terms of other like other area, not farming and foreign employment. These are the two. In terms of farming, like paddy, wheat, maize, sugarcane, tobacco, mango. These are the major earning activities. Because it is very fertile land of the Tarai only, a district of Tarai. Here is the high possibility of agro farming, isn't it? We need to focus upon that. And foreign employment, no doubt, I already told you, this foreign employment is the earning activities of each and every province. It means province number 2 means very popular, or it can be developed when we focused upon agriculture. That is the things we need to remember. Right? Another caste of people means Yadav, Tharu, or Muslims, or Tarai Brahmins, or this mostly Tarai caste are there. And major language means Maithili, Bhojpuri, and Bajika or Nepali. This is the Mithila Anchal, also known as the Mithila Anchal previously, or Mithila Anchal means there is Mithila language or Bhojpuri language are there, and Nepali. This is the glance of the province number 2, a short introduction of the province number 2. In this way, what we see is for the proper development of the province number 2, what we need to focus upon is agriculture for the development. Like in province number 1, what we can focus means tourism, we can focus hydroelectricity, there is the possibility of that. Farming also possible, isn't it? But in province number 2, farming only is the most important things. Another is Bagmati province. Another province is Bagmati. Like in Bagmati province, like Dolakha, Ramechhap, Sinduli, Kabre-Planchok, Sindhupalchok, Rasua, Nuwakot, Dhading, Chittaun, Makwanpur, Bhaktapur, Lalitpur, and Kathmandu. These are the some districts. These are the districts in Bagmati province. And in terms of Langtang, Ganesh Himal, the Jugal and Rolwaling, these are the some mountain range which are there in Bagmati province. And Langtang, Gauri Shankar, Pavil, and Dorje Pahad of Dorje Lakpa Himal. These are the some important peaks, mountain peaks in this. And in terms of rivers like Tirsuli, Indravati, Bhotekoshi, Tamakoshi, Sunkoshi, Bagmati, Kamala, Khimti, these are the some rivers in province, this Bagmati province. Like Bhotekoshi, Tamakoshi also are there in province number 1, 2, and Bagmati province, which means these rivers crosses from one province to another province. Okay? Lakes or ponds like Gosaikunda, Indra Sarovar, Bisajarital, Chorolpa, Touda, Rani Pokhari, like this some lakes are there in province number 3 or Bagmati province. And protected areas, Langtang National Park, Chittaun National Park, Parsa National Park, Sivapuri Nagarjun National Park, which is near to Kathmandu. These are the some protected areas which are there in Bagmati province. Another major cities like Kathmandu, Lalitpur, Bhaktapur are here, Hetauda, Bharatpur, Chittagong, Banepa, Panauti, like Dhulikhel, isn't it? These are the major cities in Bagmati province. Another in terms of roadway, east-west highway, central sector in Makwanpur and Chittagong, BP highway, BP Koirala highway from Banepa to Bardebas, isn't it? That is there. And Pasang Lamu highway is here, Tribhuvan highway is there, Prithvi highway is there, Chandragiri Hills cable car. These are the some this way roadways or means of transportation which are being developed here. These are the main, isn't it? Another in terms of tourism, Kathmandu, Rasua, Jiri, Chittagong, Kulekhani, Nagarkot, these are the major tourism areas. Mainly Kathmandu because almost all, most of the heritage sites are here, and Chittagong also is in national heritage. Out of this Bagmati province, there are only two national world heritage sites, Lumbini and Sagarmatha. Otherwise, all the other 8 world heritage sites also are here in this Bagmati province. So there is a high possibility of tourism development in Bagmati province. Like Kathmandu Valley itself is here, so that, isn't it? And in terms of industrial zone, like Kathmandu Valley, Balaju Industrial Zone, Patan Industrial Zone are there, Banepa, Hetauda Industrial Zone, Bharatpur. These are the some industrial zones in Bagmati province. Another earning activities, in terms of earning activities, farming, animal husbandry, tourism, manufacturing, trade and business, service sector, mining, and foreign employment, obviously. Mainly, service sector is well developed in the Bagmati province. Don't forget it. Another caste of the people, Brahmin, Kshetri, mainly Newar, Tamang, are the major caste in this. Major native caste of the Bagmati province is Newar and Tamang. Newar within Kathmandu Valley, and in surrounding area Tamang, isn't it? We need to remember. And Chepang, Jirel also is most important. Jirel are there in Dolakha only, I think in our country too. Not in other areas mostly. There is, means these are. And in terms of pilgrimage sites, major pilgrimage sites also are here, like Pashupatinath, Swambhunath, Bodhanath, Dakshin Kali, Changu Narayan, isn't it? Sali Nadi, Devghat also there, and Dolakha Bhimsen, Palanchok Bhagavati, Namo Buddha, Kalinchok. These are the some major pilgrimage sites which are here, so that we can develop tourism there. In Bagmati province, we can focus upon tourism, we can focus upon hydroelectricity, some rivers are there, isn't it? And we can focus upon service sector is a bit well developed in comparison to other provinces here, isn't, like banking sector and other like communication companies, these all. Means in this way, this is a bit well developed province in comparison to other province, isn't? This is about Bagmati province. Today we have talked about three province, province number 1, 2, and Bagmati province. About its some facts, and it is a short introduction of the province. You need to remember when we talk about the federalism, and we need to remember about these all means a short introduction about the provinces. That is all about the these provinces, and in next class we'll talk about other remaining 4 provinces, a short introduction, and we'll shift to another lesson. Okay, to know about other provinces, 4 provinces, we'll meet in next class. I think today's time is over, so let's say bye bye.